Yo, chat. Oh, why am I? Ooh. There we go. Welcome, chat. We just chilling tonight. We making some character kits. Honestly, what I could do is just work in no particular order. Yes, I'm staring at. So there's some Gilded Path. This is shuffled, right? I'm not stupid. It is shuffled. Nice. Copy this? I should copy. I think don't have to keep retyping it. Passive ability. I wanted to be kind of aggressive, like it's maybe something that's like a bruiser. So like, maybe something, maybe like a passive that's kind of tied around like minions. Maybe. What carnivore?
You see here, kid? You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before.
Welcome to the game, not to the start of the segments. I ain't gonna listen to complaining, cause I'm asking the questions. So you can write a review, but disregard the suggestions, cause I'll be using all the space when I got stars for contestant. Play to the last and attention, the market respect that we seek. We master the entrance, they hard it on X and they retreat. Artists impression, the marvel effects on the green screen. The harder you present, more chances to getting on TV. Leave them teleshopping on the channel they're choosing. They challenge my viewing to look at how this family feuding. That's how they're edited and posing as some classical music and coding the feature. They cannot get the radical views and there's panic and chewing. The malice is brewing. It's double jeopardy to pick another category group and the camera is looming. Don't listen to the audience, can handle the booing. I put the misery on pluses for the eyes that consuming.
Why you wanna run from me when I already know where to take your story? It's never really done for me. Why you living out life, no aim, that's boring. I can see suffering, let me take the reins of the guide you touring. Everything were up to me, I'll strike the lights and we get to score.
Hey, lights, lights, camera rolling, now we live, live. Prime time, cut the footage and the highlights. Caution, caution, put 'em on the mic, mic. Turn the TV on, turn the volume high. I'm in demand on the show reel. Face of the brand, but I go heel. Laid out the plan, but I don't kneel. Like we're putting them in boxes, we dealing on no deal. In my own film, put me on center stage at a pause of breath. So real, forecast the weather, but I report that there's no film. Commentate footage, we more than talking heads. We better get explicit, cause we airing up the water shit. I gon' stream it from satellites, I condense it, dynamize the water cooler moment. I share a row with my shadow guys, they gon' think that the mastermind budget. AKs they analyze, only connect the sequences. Never look at the hands of size advertising, they panic. I had a life that
There's some words that my brain just can't wrap my head around for some reason.
give me something to watch. I've been testing all their reactions.
I don't know why.
Vision kill radio, we created a paradise.
Why you wanna run from me when I already know where to take your story? It's never really done for me. Why you living out life, no aim, that's boring. I can see suffering, let me take the reins of the guide you touring. Everything were up to me, I'll strike the lights and we get to score.
Hey, lights, lights, camera rolling, now we live, live. Prime time, cut the footage and the highlights. Caution, caution, put 'em
this too long.
I heard all your best friends just walked out the door. Now it's time I repay and carry your legacy. I'm losing my mind. I think this feels right for me. It's my prophecy. It's my time. Just take it all in. You're not my friends. I take out the knife from your back and place it inside of my hands, and you'll see how this ends. So I'ma take revenge, 'cause they never believed you when you tried to make your amends. So then why should I live in this lie? Oh, I can't deny my DNA ties. I'm asking them why am I losing my mind? I think this feels right for me. It's my prophecy. It's my time. Just take it all in. You're not my friends. I take out the knife from your back and place it inside of my hands, and you'll see how this ends. This is how it ends. Carry your legacy. It's your legacy. It's my legacy. Oh, I'm losing my mind. I think this feels right for me. It's my prophecy. It's my time. Just take it all in. You're not my friends. I take out the knife from your back and place it inside of my hands, and you'll see how this ends.
And
Stand ready for my arrival, worm.
I have arrived. Orders descend from the shrine. I let you decide. You better have presence of mind, and your body get sent with the time. Battle beats, but a pussy get wet up. On that wrong bitch, you're welcome to try. Fitted suit, I wear this to your funeral. You can shoot, but I'm dressed to the nines. Instead of alive, your head on the spike. I promise. Attempted murder, no attempt. I'm flawless. You soft as shit, you paper towel, you brawny. I take the crowd and paint the town regardless. Like your blood, I spray you down in orders. And I get to your head, I feel like Jarvis. You cap, I might decap your broke departed. Get on my on the beat and go Colossus. 1 second, I'm tired. Bitch, I lied. 20v1, it's a 1v20, and I gotta still tell you it's a bit lopsided. Allies telling you to hit back, and you live back like, bitch, I'm trying. Have him on the phone like, somebody call an ambulance, bitch, I'm dying. It's okay to cry. All that crossed my path were meant to die. You try to, you die. But I'm happy that you get to try. Bitch, I put in work, so only vulture minds that get to thrive. City and the people wanna know the meaning of life. Well, think about it while I'm beating your mind. It's our time. Everywhere that we go, they will reap what we sow. Either valley fall. All has seen it before. Crumbled every throne. It's the same old song again. We gon' fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up. Pour out a cup for the runner up. Thinking I'm done, I ain't done enough. We gon' run it up, run it up, run it up. Die on your feet, better never love it. This is how it ends. I'ma level with you, how I see you living, boy, I'm jealous of you. All my life been living what they tell me to do. Travel terror, tell me torture, tear 'em in two. When they terrified, I do it terrible, do every burial, bro. I grow scarier too.
what does she have?
That's what I do to your shit. That's what I do to your bitch. That's what I do to that kid. That purpley bitch you smack with the quickness. That's how
I'll go. Why is this telling me it's wrong again? Checking something. Ecstasy, yeah. Do Vermilion, and then after that we'll do Pauline. Pauline. Tula. Vessel. Official warping Fae. Stealth banishing.
principle. Led to believe in a miracle. Even their minds got denial. Conceive the unthinkable. Maybe they be looking for an exit. I'll be turning spaces liminal. Nothing to regret if every choice you make is trivial. Say that I'm the best at what I do like it was difficult. Lay a man to rest, so what the hell you called invincible?
All of your choices have led to me. Watch as your cities all crumble to ash, left with their scars and their memories. You're just an insect who fell in my path. Already over. There ain't a planet that I could not tame. I'm supernova. They heard the mission, now they know my name.
Tearing a man who made this a contest. Saw her as stand and they made me a bomb threat. Send what they can, but the race is the long dead. They knew the plan 'cause the name's in the conquest.
Stand with me, stay strong now. Our gods are bleeding on the ground. I thought it'd quell the voice of doubt, but it's just growing louder, louder on. I'll live to see the end, burn myself to light ahead. Call upon convictions I had lost upon the riverbed. I tried to be your guide, your savior, but all I did was watch us fall. If I could separate my soul from my body, I'd fly back, way back to the fields of home and hide from the nightmares, the tragedies I've seen. I'll quell my fear and force my will to toughen like stone. We live in imperfect times, there never is a perfect choice. Even if resented, I'll do what I must, the final voice. I won't let your journey end. Under the stars may we meet again. I once believed the fog would clear, but justice it promised was never here. The sky it burns, cremating bodies, laughing at misguided prophecies. Remember where I came from, how many have I lost? Goodbye, good friends, good people, not once a peaceful god. I've abandoned my fantasies, there is no paradise. I'll tear it all apart and usher in the till the end, I will do it all again.
I'm what you call a hater. I be waking early for this shit to fade 'em, 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 to fade 'em. Step over your body just to get the paper, that paper, that paper, that paper, that paper, that paper, that paper. World is more sick.
Why is this once again the wrong?
Hey, I'm a forest fire to your family tree. The reason that you cannot get any sleep. The glorified devil petting his peak. The dog's fired up. When I'm unleashed, assault like shit'll never be sweet.
not. You know what's wrong.
Rock a nigga and that's set in stone. Clicking up, we gonna metronome and you catch a beat like a stethoscope. Beat 'em up.
You know it's like super wrong.
I ain't playing, ain't an anagram,
What the
but
fuck?
I got a hater in the heart. Wishing wreckage on your car, wishing death upon a star. Play with me, you playing God. You will never see tomorrow. I stop time, change everything. Not nice, plain medicine. Yep, I'm straight pessimist. My blood type B negative. I spit on the grave you resting in. Then in my life, cause soon as I die, you catch a fade in heaven, yeah. I can explain it better than.
Pose the question formally. Who loves hate more than me? This that I'm forming for 'em is torture, disorders born with me. Nah, there's no more mortal me. Nah, this ain't immortal beef. Yo, then your chance to live is slim when the reaper pull like corner three. My name hold up authority. Your family was a thorn to me. This cleansing ain't no chore when I pull out your bloodline and torch a tree. I scorch that earth, the forestry. Your friendship is a forest dream. Cause hate's my faith and the man pray. Say fucking your life is born to me. Look at these shoes and staring, daring for a standoff. But let me type my shit real quick before these hands start. We sing it, be your bitch, will sit just like a lapdog. Yeah, she saw you suck before you took the mask off. Throwing stones at glass jars, you can save your last thoughts. Don't come approaching me, I'll bring brass knuckles just to slap butts. See, and I look like money, put these fuglies in the backdrop. Type to stab your back, laughing, fuck you like it's back shots.
They say I'm a hater. I say incinerator. What's my motivator than a center slayer? Send you straight to hell. Take your ferry coins just to spend them later. Fill a man with holes, deal ventilator. Kick the power cord out of your ventilator. Take your son to the park as a celebration. Hand your baby boy a bomb and detonate it. Like boom. That boy stupid as his pops. This ain't Cooper land. I'm on your head. Them shells fly when I drop. Bitch, that's 10 toes when I drop in. That's 10 toes on your block. Set you 10 deep. Well, look at that. I got 10 holes for my ops. Pause. Them holes on my drawers. Biting. They gas and they dogs. Light 'em. So they want a prod, a lion. They wanted me guard, lying. You over that barking, but you know what I'ma say. No dog inside 'em. Pussy say you got 9 lives. I got 9 knives and they all excited. Hooter. Kill 'em and hit my pose. Hooter. Look at this grip, I'm froze. Hooter. Dive in when it come to this petty shit. I don't dip my toe. Hooter. Walk in your mom's house and I tell your pops better get my hoe. Spill your DNA, now you DOA by the DIO. I be waking early for this shit. Step over your body just to get the paper. Whoa, this boy is sick. I'm the number 1 pick.
I'm taking a flight, but now with a bow and I'm made for the heights. At the frontier, they gon' battle my spirit. You hop in the board, then you paying the price. Safe in the jet, till they blue in the face. Shaking like turbulence during the ride. So rockin' united, no talking American. Ought to prepare when you earning the stripes. I got the sauce like Southwest. They were dealt a bad hand, but going to war with the animal. Y'all be some house pets. I protect this home and the guard dog. If he gonna barge in, I'ma be chow fat. When I knock back at the blackout, when I have all this power at hand like Alvarez. If you searching for me, you'll be found dead. See me circling around this premises. Don't stop and around, never end the shift. Same route, never gonna clock out. If you get in my house, then I won't be welcome in. Too short with the views. If you do choose to refuse, I'ma lose my temper quick. Got smoke coming out of my breath like I'm here with the Dutch, but I'm not in the Netherlands. Had this job like ever since inception. I've been that final boss. My demeanor so devilish, impossible for me to hide the horns. Finding me is just finding walls, so I think that y'all would just got it wrong. They tell me to lighten up, but I can't 'cause I like the dark.
Baba.
I'm in the shadow, up in the sky, I'm a fly in the battle. Aerial vision, you only scaring the sparrows and pigeon with fire and arrows. Swooping right in for the kill like a falcon, hiding with land and no mic or they scramble. Y'all wanna ramble about me, but nothing protecting your mouth despite the enamel.
word I don't spell right too often. Polonia.
When they can't control you, who do you think that you will become? The media's wanting to get a piece of the action, and people beside you just think you're dumb. How you do it like that? No way. There's gotta be an answer. As a matter of fact, there's a job in lacking while I'm expecting these on offside. Keep talking the talk, and we walk in the walk.
Nah, it's too similar to the last one. That's a good name for this. I don't know a good name for this.
Skin am I putting on tonight? Getting ready for the show as I run my lines. With the role I'm casting, I'll play it right. Don't you know my mask is the place I hide? And when the curtain's drawn, I send a curse upon you, turn a face alive. You're on a stage of fright. Sanity is what it costs you. Set it foot in my forgotten fortress. I can fit you with a costume. This madhouse has no shortage. It's time to tear away the weathered skin of yesterday. Kinda like a secret, I will never keep it. We've been waiting every night and day to find a way to scream. Voices in the don't you run, don't even look away. You're here to stay, you'll play. Voices in the dark, whose voice am I ripping out tonight? Hear it echo through the halls where the truth once died. Every line's a trap that I set with style. Every grin I wear is a sharpened lie. And when the scene begins, like the horror in it freaks beneath the light. You're in my script tonight. Now your name is what it costs you. On the shoulders where the walls are shifting.
This ability. She's an assassin. She's supposed to be really fast, so.
You'll become my deepest. We've been waiting every night and day to find a way to scream. Voices in the don't you run, don't even look away.
Wait, this one. I know what her ultimate is. It's
Come become Mars and play your part. Who am I? Who are you? Mirror lies, mimic
tell them higher. My name in months and titles, no, I'm the man they admire. I gone forge the flames of empires. Don't wanna fuck with a Caesar, big leader, Res Republic, current console and speaker. Colosseum, cause I'm deciding fates to do it, send stage, but they all stuck in the bleachers. Hate your teachers, so go learn some etiquette. They play like Shakespeare, heavy verse and rhetoric. A puppet talking till he hurt his head. A bit a king to a slave, like they verse and rhetoric. Never did it easy, I've been coming in the battle like it's Venevid, Vigi Bella on the commentary. I got records written neatly, got the money like a Crassus hitting London to the masses. They can call me a dictator, cause the sinner getting needy. Even better when you see me leaving session like I see these other members of the consulate are getting it like me. Hitting Cleo down on Egypt in my bella never titty. Yellow guys back in BC.
When I was at war, I was outflanked, caught by the rack forces of a mad horde, and I still left every man more stamped on than the passport for my rat corpse. Now my back's sore, and my body aches, cause I'm soon to hit 90, and you and my hundreds of friends are invited to bind, and I might have just left it, and now it's how long I reign. Hence the threat I made for the better men of Egypt. Every enemy that threatened me is said to be defeated. But with Ali, you can tally if you're dead. He is truly dead, for that son of man, I swear this happened, cause I said it. It got to amateurs as long as grand, you put them on your pantheon. Aussie man, your solely stands as a fucking rye. You'll never cook as hard as Gordon Ramsay's got
Watch your mouth when the king of kings step in this bitch. I done conquered Libya, Egypt and shit. I heard y'all was talking, y'all Babylon and on. Call your army, let's get this shit. I pull up to your border and cause a disturbance. They shaking, I'm making them nervous. Really the greatest, my service they worship. I can't get no blood on this shirt, man, it's Persian. I can conquer your bitches for certain. Top 5, I'm getting a vote. My drip so deep, my fits on fleek. My flow like water, I see my note. Don't make me reach, I'm getting so close. They all rejoice just to look upon me. Get on your knees, it's CTG 600 BC. Still an OG.
Like greatest make way for us and make way or pain in the name 6 7 I'm leaving no true rain that is safe for them. Made a layways, take him and pay great benefit rate in DA committed. I commit the campaigns to the naysayers, clip the frame, show me the maze, glisten the clip in the quiver, the quiver of fates. In minutes, a cutting close, facing the low trip of fate difference. Hey, pain driven made, here to stay feeling, they get in my way, fatally slaying my name. And it's in the KDA, changing the game and no gains given. Your face with the greatest, the day I stay winning. It's status, a claim dependent on my survival. Conquest, baby, stand ready for my arrival. Concept and principle, I'm just invincible. Y'all can fit in my title.
Make way for the wise and generous. Switching minds at the stock on a pendulum. Hate a woman so much the planet set me up. Love a queen so much I make it like a bust. Like a cheap queen, I'm the to the young, the woman to the death. They don't know that they need me now. 표정과 유성을 볼 수 있게 정상된 내가 만들었지 나. 가르늘 거치지가 않은 테마. Let the foundation of a unified combat. 신라유지 17대 소나도 켜마. 여자분의 설리가 헛소리. Focus on my people and all the stories. 전혀 한계가 없는 곳이. I'm a little man taking all my glory. Prepare for my downfall, gonna start searching. Building up the tower that they use it for observing. Cause I'm buried in the country that I have to make it flourish. See them in my name.
Hey, Shason.
Only empress ruthless, and I had to be. You think men are impressive, have them
Bum,
try
bum, bum,
it
bum, bum.
as ladies. When I took over the court, then I took over the country. Tryna grow, egon boom, but they judge me as cruel. I'm ready for the fist I rule with prejudice. Get of this new movement. Watch out, crown myself now. So bow down on your knees. I've seized my dynasty.
Let's check this link. Get back to it.
Carving pots and carpet, carnage, wrapped in carnage. Trying to pull the rug, left wrapped in carpet. Baits in the jam, me out to ride it. Leave a battlefield covered in crimson. Break necks while I build my kingdom. You claim that you wouldn't do the same, but everybody's got a little bit of me in them. Go gung ho, cutthroat, blood soaked when you got
Goes.
gusto, jump out. Front row to your home, becoming a dust bowl, and it only gets worse if you run slow. Big strides, boom, rolling and steps, bareheaded and rain, and there's a hole in your chest. I'm posing a threat to the whole of the West, and the rest of the world will still know me in death.
Alfred the Grey, son of the wolf, wields power and grace. Show you I learned it, and merciful men make a kingdom from ashes and scour the dens. I was the fifth in line and the last one left, still poker face, and though they stack my deck. Goddamn life was a trial by death, but by God's good light, man, I passed that test. On the English monarch to have earned the grave.
I want to work on Podesta first. I really don't know what I want to do for her.
Might have won the battle, but I burned the kegs. Met the Pope in Rome and God spoke, said my man Alfie's a top bloke. When it comes to the art of war, I'm ahead of my time like crossbows. See, I'm moving bardic, so damn charming, loyal man, I got those. King of the Anglo-Saxons, might have lost fights where you'll never hear me lost toes.
Harold Gormson, the Irish vaginas where I was born from. I'm well respected in the runic Hutu. If you're connected, you can call me Bluetooth. I made it insane, invading and raiding. Rearranging the brains of the pagan and raining. The whole he's a man for all seasons. Whether you're Norwegian or even more Old Zealand. A cold heathens in cold Zealand. Your boy Harold, he
Something back.
brought peace to the whole region. Oh Jesus, you reckon you're bringing the heavy bars on hard lines? You want yours, I took a stone
So this character, I want to be kind of interested, kind of he works. Is she supposed to be a general who deserted because she got sick of war and all of like the bloodshed and everything? She grew a revulsion to it. Bullshit. I want it to be something like where in her ultimate she gets really powerful, but the rest of her kid isn't too special. What's the word? It's this meter. This meter hits 0. Rush. Ramping.
deaf, they gon' hear Sonido talk dissonance out their big mouths. Heavy heads, I gon' check their egos, be lifting mine with the king's crown. Feeding hollows, that's the way I'm eating, cut a man in half like a discount. Wanna fight, then they skip towns, out back toe, get the sticks out, sit down. Shots from God, I ain't talking beers, when I step and make him feel grim jow. I don't play on no videos, hard to say that they didn't know, it's on sight. Dominating the physio, I'm a ray like Mysterio, 619. They gon' paint me the villain, throw bombs like Jaeger and Spruzo. Say you great when you isn't though, you gon' pray I don't kill him, go stick my claim on the kingdoms. Throne expert down on my rank and duty. White Pantera cause the black don't suit me. Gun a man down like a Rambo movie. Take him out back, leave a man like Loopy, Put it to his chest to be asking best in the game where they act so snooty, Write it on the test that I'm marking sex to the name when I bang, they blew me,
Ayy, it might get grim. It can get spooky. Think he a reaper. He's not him. They're like, Jobs, where have you been? I've been inside of the den. I'm in your block now. I'm ready to spin. I never been one to run from a fight. If you got a problem with me, it's on sight. If you got this crime, and I'm on the ice. I got no love for your side. I never learned to play nice. You got a king.
Bow down when I walk.
Watch the throne when you king.
No doubt when I talk.
Let me show you what a king means.
Round of applause.
Who got the crown ranking to me? Cause that belong to me. Let me show you who the king.
My moves are play you like checkers. Pesky sir, don't hate on my methods. They complain while making no effort. Act like sheep but blaming their shepherd. Iron skin, no debt and no errors. Asked the polls and said that I'm better. Sonic waves that mess with my tempers. I go leading death like they left. No reason. Be putting still into your domes. Eden. You don't wanna battle me alone. Demon. Watch the way I'm blowing up the globe. No region safe. Watch the plead. I take hope. Freedom. Savage turning man, I'm into ghost. Grieve. Turn them into pieces till there's no breathe. Body like your money cause you're broke. So keep the change. We just beats and pray. Everybody thinks they're special. Dreadful. Scabbered out with no medal. Put another corpse on schedule. Mental. Bloody cycle so mental. I be using big utensils. Tremble. Hit the sticks so orchestral. Kill him quick. I'm so feral. 666. I'm the devil.
I never been one to run from a fight. If you got a problem with me, it's on sight. If you got the crown and I'm on ice, I got no love
a few steps outside of the time machine. Tell my past self that this version of you is not complete. Try to compete, but you barely stick out in minor leagues. Start the evolution like Triple H in 2003. It's time to eat for this monster like it was Halloween. Absorbing information and holding data, molding my brain lobotomy. Straight out the future, I'ma just honestly fry the game and bend her in half. Shout out to Fox TV. Soon to be obsolete, you couldn't provide the needs of what I'm accomplishing. Whatever the problem read, I'm solving it violently. The guide in me was never the guide you knew with similar qualities. Biologically built to be all elite, what's only kind of seen. Striving to be of dominance, dominant like I'm obelisk. Try to tear me apart, but I'm growing batches like them selfishes. Like a swallowed whole when I'm on the floor, my show esophagus. Common sense, turn a 1v1 to a damn apocalypse. Show you what conquer is. He's a catastrophe walking. All these males function, all malfunction. Send a message to you boys, show you how malfunction. At least one diaper party like an all malfunction. Yo, he's truly different, he's something like an anomaly. I make you all my children, but nothing like a soap opera scene. Constantly evolving, it's nothing like Pokemon is seen. Time to transform and ain't not a soul recognizing me. Never ordinary, I defy the norm. Better not be daring when you highly warned. Everything apparent, I'm designed for the war. Together they preparing for the final form. Looking at somebody with a god complex. Nothing's ever flawed, I'm like heaven in the flesh. Ain't nobody ready for what I've got next. In just a few steps, I'm transforming. Yeah, yeah, I'm transforming. Yeah, yeah, I'm transforming. Alright, I'm transforming. I'm transforming. Way too many people mistaking power for arrogance. They don't got the power, it's likely because they're scared of it. Act like a victim, become a victim, hit up a therapist. Cause I possess the power, cannot be Amish in heritage. Ever since carriages, I've been scaring kids. Grabbing them by their larynxes, don't let air in, no sparing them. Perishing if you dare exist. Characters parasitic, severely itching to square up a flare up. Where is the Claritin? I'm so intolerant to the competition, need immunotherapy. Nobody get no flowers, that's a shot, no pollen allergy. I've been a drill to you, bitch, you gon' get screwed if you don't hammer me. His eyes all get a red, but that's what happened due to agitate. Size all you up, I take you on like there was 10 of me. Watching all of this horror rated R, I guess you're 17. I got no enemies, and the main reason cause they all dead to me. Showing up in the flesh, I make you skeletons. Technologically developing so methodical, so advanced, you wouldn't think that leveling up was possible. Regular models optimal, but due for improvement. Who said it was optional? The future's gonna be better when I'm unstoppable. Underestimated, they uneducated. I'm doing it right if I could ever give this hated. When this blow up in your face, I know that shit just detonated. If you see me self-destructing, I'll reboot and get upgraded. They're saying that my head's unwell. Don't get it backwards, I do what the red rum spell. Don't take it personal, I know you must defend oneself. But I get to business with a system because red blood cells. Yeah, this caterpillar cocooning through metamorphosis. As soon as I'm hatching out to the sky, get met with a swarm of it. Like horror flicks, I find your location without the coordinates. The sport of it, I show you what next level performance is. Get out the cellular, let's take a selfie and celebrate me. Celebrity style, self-centered. All of you self-centered and selected and deadly demise. Sick of this salmonella, get poppin' my cracker seltzer. He coding the Celsius, salivating, consuming fighters that Z-Pack. Step into my house for the slaughter, you turn to meat slab. I should be a personal trainer because I got the perfect form, but all these bodies be torn before they can reach mass. Never ordinary, I defy the norm. Better not be daring when you highly warned. Everything apparent, I'm designed for the war. Together they preparing for the final form. Looking at somebody with a god complex. Nothing's ever flawed, I'm like heaven in the flesh. Ain't nobody ready for what I've got next. In just a few steps, I'm transforming. Yeah, yeah, I'm transforming. Yeah, yeah, I'm transforming. Alright, I'm transforming. I'm transforming. Transforming.
Stupid? Feels stupid, huh? It was right the first time. I kept second guessing myself. I don't know why I think there's an S in there.
Bird is a pain, my sexual powers made them speak as bursting in the flame, yeah. We'll spit it ice cold, let it spray. Promise, don't bump these problems if you go for a flame. I ain't got a coat, I'm so fly. Swag got a coat, I go by. You wanted my attention so bad, so don't be mad when I roll by. They say, hey, it's a bird.
What is this?
The freedom of getting mistakes. What's funny is fine when they need me. When it's settled, they spit in my face. And what do I do when they do this? Same cake, different day. More power, more provers. Trying to test if I'm super. Temper pressing that Ruger shit. They be 10 toes down until they step in that future. Could have been keeping it Clark Kent. Color column is keeping it content. Call me rough, but these people are hard pressed. Ain't no size, but I keep me a hard left. But I get it, y'all needed somebody to demonize. That's where freedom dies and the duty calls. In between the lines, I see through it all. Also, you and who could ever you and yours. Bite the hand and feed you, here's some food for thought. What if you were God but kept the human flaws? What would you do with it? Would you lose the plot? Would you put a problem down and pull us on? You don't need the power to be true and hard. That's your problem. You think super's who's in charge. Nigga, how to get ahead of coup de grace. How to get ahead by losing who you are. You don't get it, so you don't get me. You all were the same, but y'all need to say. What did they say? It's a bird, it's a pain. My sense superpowers made them speak as birds and in the flame. Yeah, we'll spit it ice cold, let it spray. Promise, don't want these problems if you go for a flame. I ain't gonna come down so fly, so I gotta call, I go by. You wanted my attention so bad, so don't be mad when I roll by. They say, hey, it's a bird, it's a pain. Got that S on my chest, what's the name? Hey, I believe it is good if you look. Even sifting through miserable souls, I go by a vigilant code. Cause every disagreement don't gotta go till it's physical blows. I'm seeing the typical tropes. They approach with a visceral tone. They mistake my kindness for weakness. You start a fire, I'm here for the smoke. Go ahead, stoke it. Crazy got a verse in it, throw that head, poke it. Going for the bad hunt, go ahead, poke it. It's all sweet till I throw that head, doze em. 10 toe talk, get toe head broken. Can you keep up? I'm quicker than the heater. You told her they better beat up. Look into my eyes if you thinking I'm playing heaters. They rather get some peanut or the beat up. Can change your mind, we can hit up. Everybody wants hope, but don't know what it costs. They just wanna see the light. They don't know what was lost. So I smile for the cameras with a pain in my chest while I carry all the weight of souls that lay in the trenches. Out of everything I made, I hope I made an impression. Diamond doesn't start a diamond, it was shaped by the pressure. All the foundation I laid was paid with intention. And all the sacrifices I made can't wait for the message. They say, hey, it's a bird, it's a plane. My set superpowers made them speak as birds and in the flame. Yeah, we'll spit it ice cold, let it spray. Promise you don't want these problems if you go for a flame. I ain't gonna come down so fly, so I gotta call, I go by. You wanted my attention so bad, so don't be mad when I roll by. They say, hey, it's a bird, it's a plane. Got that S on my chest. What's the name? What's the name? What's the name?
I don't know how, I don't know when. La-da-da-da-dee-da-dee-da. I was hoping to meet you, but you're running late. I just wanted to treat you to a meal alright. Wonder what kind of memories did you create since I brought you here and disappeared. Mother of the year. Did you already forget my voice? I wait until the day I fade. Did you ever regret your choices? Did you realize your fate? I don't know how, I don't know when, but something sparkled in a garbage can. It happens now, it happened then. Is it a dream or someone's twisted plan?
Excuse me, friend, Miss Delaron, your new perfume is hella strong. I saw your pics in Dalabog. They say a raccoon went on a rampage.
Elio, it went so wrong. The futures we could land upon, the one you scripted all along, is odd and smells like rotten cabbage. You hit my heart like a home run through the levels into paradise. Your light's my guardian dome, your purple agent is my sweet demise. I don't know how, I don't know when, but something sparkled in a garbage can. HP is down 15%, but I can't keep my hands off you again. I'm a little rush, 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 rush. Can't believe I found this trash, 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 treasure right on my ground. I know that garbage can be what even eels can't, even eels can't.
I was born in the weather to confront the swarm, the left forward. Want to see the real me before you are ready to initiate my final form. I'll taste the snow, now with this all that I am. I can be so much more.
I don't know why, but I admit something dragged me to a manhole
Oh,
pit.
dude.
It's dimly lit, it smells
Like,
joy, just like a bin, but look within and boy, you open up your hole,
I could do Meeks. I remember I have to delete picture because there's Meeks. Best viewers on Streambo. Guess what, buddy? Best viewers in hell. Goodbye. Thank you for the free follow. Reesh, man. Robot. Command line. Shut the fuck up.
Lately I've been feeling flawed. Memories remind us about everything I lost. My past is an anchor that's been weighing on my heart. Heavy as my sin is causing damage when I fall. Now I'm seeking to be better and I treat that like it's law. Rain fall on me and hide the teardrops. Crawling from my lowest, I'm hoping to reach the hilltop. I made change, but that doesn't hide the pain that I still got. Regret is the fact that I'm here now and you still not. Bones in my thoughts and every second it bleeds. And I know this pain couldn't kill us from the outside. It's castle walls of sin. And I hear you calling. Would you call my name? 'Cause I feel I'm to blame. Yeah, I do. I don't play God, I dissect fate. Scalpel in my hand, I'm cutting ties with the snakes. Heart up on my sleeve, now heart up in a crate. Hit 'em with the room, I'll come and shift your mental state. Burn it all, let it blaze. There's no hope, there's no grace. There's one choice, so don't freeze. 'Cause there's God, and there's me. And I know this pain couldn't kill us from the outside. It's castle walls of sin. And I hear you calling. Would you call my name? 'Cause I feel I'm to
We're going Kyrios. Meeks use shiny. My idea for this character is that they get these curios, right? And these curios offer like buffs or changes based on you kind of cycle through them, right? So you're not really a damage character. You got damaging stuff, but like you're not truly a damaging character. What are your thoughts? What's Chet's thoughts on this? We're disconnected. Huh? That a Reno. Asterisk. Reno. Don't be. Is Chatterino being stupid again? Oh my god. I hate when Chatterino does this. I am still online, correct? Twitch is being silly. I'm low-key lurking for mobile. Nice. Sorry if I miss your messages because fucking Twitch is being silly with my stream. Why is it disconnecting? Love this. I love this. Catarino. Hard for me to read anything, but you shouted a question. Oh. So basically, right. This character, her whole thing is that she is a little curious kobold, right? And she, whenever she gets assists or travels around the place, she finds these curios, these items. And they offer different types of buffs and other things that allow her to help her team. What do you think the gameplay loop on that feels like? So like you're not really a damage dealer, you're kind of like a little you're a fucking curious, you're a curious little utility mage. Wish I could read responses, but fuck me. Hey, thank you for the follow. I would love to read your response, but my Chatterino is just not working. I'll get to it. I'll see it in a second. Give me 2 seconds, chat. Chatterino is just being the greatest piece of dog ass that's ever existed. Connect. Chatterino. Come on. I have to like command kill you. I do have. Oh. I gotta take Chatterino out back and fucking blow its goddamn brains out. Give me a second. There we go. Old Yellard. Chatterino, I'm begging you to please come back online and work fine. Reno. I don't have to keep trying. This is gonna piss me off. This is gonna make me angry. This is gonna make me mad. I had Chatterino do this like once or twice to me, but it's just decided to be super silly. I stopped by. Oh, here we go. Now I can see part of the messages. Are you writing for, or is this for D&D, or are you writing for a story? Well, basically, my friend. Sorry, again, I can't read all your messages right now because it's just being super silly. Oh, are you working now? Are you deciding to be a fucking... Oh my god, it is. Nice. Now Chatterino decides to work. Maybe they had like some kind of thing. Anyways, so I'm actually a game dev, and I'm making a game. These are characters that are going to be in my game. Later on. Hence why I can show them off without getting NDA'd, right? Why Chatterino instead of a browser window or mobile app? Because for some reason, right, and I have no clue why, my ISP does something different with how they stream the information, and I cannot stay in Twitch chats, like raw Twitch chats or YouTube chats. I have to have dockets for it. They just crash me out, and I don't know why. It happens in games too, specific games like League. It happened once in Dota and Predecessor. Specific games don't accept my internet type, and I don't know why. So I either have to A, use a VPN, B, just use Chatterino, which, you know, Chatterino. But I can't use a VPN while streaming, or it will tank my frames, so whatever. But to answer your other question, so these are character kits that I'm writing for my actual characters, or some of them. These are characters that are further along, so I can show these off without getting NDA'd, even though it's my game. But you can see right here on the left side, I am a writer. I am the CEO and narrative lead of my company, and I've written 47 stories. These are all stories, and I have like over 300 characters. Well, you can't see because you're listening only, but yeah, you get it. So, I like creating shit. I have a lot of different story types. About anything that you would think of is here. And other stuff too. I love creating. I love making stories. I even have, I do have a habit of doing a lot more physical media. So I like to write on paper, and I forget to like put it into digital so it stays there. You know. So I'm going through and writing these all down on top of all doing this, but I have been writing down the story for one of my realities already. I'm like on, I think this is counting. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm on like 4,000 words, 18,000 characters for the story. This story so far, but I'm not even close to being done with it. So maybe one day in the stream I'll be in here writing more. But yeah, I'm just working on character kits here. This is from one of my realities called Gilded Path. And these are some of the characters. And when Zay is on the allied team, he's the buff. So I also use Obsidian for my D&D itself too. Whenever I actually whenever I'm playing my D&D to play as well. I do that as well. I like D&D. I guess this ability could be Meeks as idea. In Psycho. Dun dun. Ability. Oh, my dog's having a little nightmare. Ability. Oh, little nightmare dog. Oh, my Chatterino crashed again. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck that. Here we go. He has found the offensive. Or what's another word for something that's like active but not maybe like proactive. This. Alright, what's the third ability? Maybe like maybe like a escape. Meeks retreat.
I'ma walk it how I walk it and I'll win it how I
guess not backwards, like away.
Their vision fades to gray.
Ultimate ability. The big book. Humanity. I figure why Chatterina's crashing on me. It works when I really turn off the app and I shoot it in the back of the head. The big book of big stuff. Yeah, would you guys like to hear some lore for this character? You guys want to hear a little bit of lore rant? Sure. So basically, the story of Gilded Path is basically about a group, a little party of 5 kind of like ragtag people who are all trying to travel this big path called the Golden Path, the Gilded Path. And it was this trading path that was shut down when this massive war between the northern and southern kingdoms happened, and hasn't been used in like 500 years. And once the war kind of gets older and the peace treaty is formed, an uneasy treaty, they decide, led by their little leader named Apollina, to go and travel this path that hasn't been traveled in so many years and just see what's left on it. So specifically, each character has their own reasons for stuff, but Meeks, before she joined this little group, Meeks was just a kobold that was in the service of a dragon, average kobold stuff. But unlike the other kobolds, which are just like, put the gold in the pile and that's what we do, Meeks wanted to learn and just see what this stuff did. She loved her little curios. So this began to aggravate the other kobolds because Meeks just wanted to go and like look at the stuff that they were putting on. She'd take it off the pile and read it and look at it and just be like, oh, it's this big boom boom stick or something, And eventually this made the other kobolds so mad they kicked her out because she just wasn't conforming. And she just wanted to just explore and see stuff outside the cave and just wanted to understand more. So she ends up wandering with like what curios she keeps in her big book bag. And eventually she stumbles upon these adventurers who she kind of just inserts herself into this group. Not the main group, but like a different group of adventurers. And they just hate her. They just hate her because she is very talkative and she talks in the third person. She talks as like, Meeks is happy, Meeks is here. And just keeps talking to them about like the stuff in her book bag and like trying to show them stuff. And they're just trying to get their adventuring stuff done. But eventually, this gets them captured by some gnolls. Which, if you know gnolls, they're kind of terrible things. So, the group gets captured by some gnolls, and they are put in this cage to be eaten. In this group, there is their alpha, their pack leader, Zay. Zay is the strongest and biggest of this pack. And basically, when all these other adventurers and Meeks are in this cage, they're all freaking out. They're all having their like panic attacks and everything, and they're being pulled out like one by one to be cooked and eaten, or even just eaten alive. Meeks ends up to kind of soothe herself is reading this, reading her book and reading things out of it. And as they're eating people, Zay basically hears this and gets interested in these stories and these things, and slowly over the course of like a week, It goes from just like passively listening to actually at night sitting down in front of the cage and listening to Meeks' stories and listening to these things Meeks is saying about these things outside of the caves, outside of everything, and it expands her horizons. So every time the pack of gnolls are like, you know, going to go grab somebody, Zay basically says, not the little one, too scaly, not enough meat, and they take all the humans out, the other adventurers. But eventually, the pack gets angry when there's only Meeks left, and they want to eat Meeks. And the pack is like going to revolt and basically tells Zay, you know, you stop protecting that one, or you become next food. So Zay basically thinks back to all these stories and all of it, and just wants to see more outside of the cave and see more than just his life. So she gets attacked by her entire her horde of gnolls, and she kills all of them. She kills every single one of her family almost. And she releases Meeks, and they step outside the cave, and they see the sunset. And Meeks is basically like talking to her about things, and Zay's just like listening, nodding her head. And they get really close, and eventually they get married. They become partners because they both have this wanderlust and are expanding their horizons outside of the cave. That's what leads them to join the main group of people, is that they just want to explore and see. But there's a prejudice to like monsters in the Gilded Path. Even though Zay tries to act civilized and Meeks tries to keep her from like, you know, being too crazy, there are people that don't like monsters, so they have to deal with that everywhere. That's a little short lore tidbit from Meeks and Zay. There's a little couple. The big burly gnoll that actually has a soft side, and the cute little kobold. There's other characters, little lore stories if y'all are interested. Yes. Let's try to word this. Fun activation. Magic begins from the bottom. History. Thanks for the bit of backstory, by the way. Yeah, I love talking about lore. I love talking about this stuff. The big thing is like when I talk about it, the big thing when I talk about it is like I hear it out loud, and it helps me go, okay, this doesn't make sense. Fix this, you know, etc., etc. Always just like talking out loud for it. Wow. It deals random effects while runs around. Nice. Let me reread this kit. Where's the power in this kit? I guess it is just the curios, right? We have to design a bunch of curios. Like a bunch of them. I guess it's fine. I guess the power in the kit would come from whatever the curios are. Like, what they do. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now, time for one of the characters I have in here. You know, when sometimes you have that character that is this character was like a insert for me like a long time ago, but I eventually just fleshed him out to his own character. I used to like little edgy kid OC shit, and then I eventually just fleshed him out into like a real character. He ties in from like a whole other reality because I have like this whole universe. All my realities are technically connected, but they aren't like DC multiverse or Marvel multiverse. They are just like in the same existence, tied within a story. Roll. I'm settling artillery. Music not too loud, chat. Or not loud enough. What are the themes behind this? What should I do with themes? So, music volume is good in my opinion. Yeah, YouTube chat agrees. Eldritch horror. Religion? Worm, but hot? So this character basically, he's from another universe, another one of my stories. And in that story called Heroes No More, the whole thing is like this guy, the main superhero goes bad, or well, doesn't go bad, but basically in that story, he gets told he's gonna die, and he is one of the old like Golden Age superheroes, and he gets told he has like super cancer, where his actual healing factor is killing him slowly, but it's healing factor shit. And he realizes that everything he's done up to this point has just kind of been like a 0 point, where every time he puts someone away, they just get out. And every time he does XYZ, it always go back to normal. And he eventually just kind of goes, I'm going to just clean up everything, right? My way or the highway. He's going around, he goes to every single place and starts just like weeding out everything that's bad. But like by his own rules evil. So not like Injustice Superman, where it's like a regime. It's really just like, if you're a supervillain, you die. I kill you. You can't. I'm just gonna kill you. If you are like an evil person who does bad things, you are dead. But in the first big fight in that story, they release a bunch of villains from a Supermax prison to just try and stop him, because they're running out of options, right? Because this character Maxwell is like, he's basically invulnerable. He's almost invulnerable, and he has a massive healing factor. So they release a bunch of villains, and one of the villains wields this blade, and this blade draws power and gives you power, but it makes you want to kill yourself. It gives you like even more depression and sorrow, and just bombards you with it as you get more power from the blade. So in this big fight, basically him and this guy are fighting, and eventually the blade overtakes this dude, and he stabs himself through the chest with the blade. But as he's like dying, he basically has the conviction to pull the blade out, and in doing so, he finally passes the blade's trial that the blade's been trying to do for like eons, through all its wielders, and he fully like absorbs the blade, and he becomes this not like a new being, but like he becomes like severely superpowered or whatever, a big fight. But the whole point is when he's transforming, this black hole appears, and it pulls a bunch of people out, and they're in Vegas, and there's this show where this like TV pastor guy is there. Of course, like Big Charlton, big asshole. It's like that one dude who like looks like Satan, and he's like evil as shit in real. I can't remember his name, but he's like the guy who like scams everybody on TV. But basically, when the black hole forms and sucking everybody in, it sucks in him and his family. This pastor guy and his family. And as you know, the son is like trying to help his dad. The father grabs him and pulls and just throws the son in the black hole because there's not enough room on the platform to save both him and his wife and his son. So he pulls his son and throws him into the black hole, but it doesn't kill him. It sends him to the Gilded Path, like years and years and years and years and years before. So this character, the Prophet, he shows up here, and he is instantly enslaved. Almost instantly. He doesn't speak the language. He's a foreigner. And this is like way back in the time, and he gets sent to this place, which is basically run by this group called the Sisters of Mercy. And he is branded, he is enslaved and sent to the mines. And as he's like being forced to work, everyone is like really, of course, you know, depressed and sad and everything. And he eventually gets stuck in a cave-in. And as he's waiting to die, he curls up in this ball and he basically loses all hope in everything. So, but instead of allowing himself to fall into this dark despair, he creates his own hope. He creates his own God in his head. This worm, this being that doesn't adhere to anyone else's, like, you know, precepts or memes or anything like that. It's just its own existence, a malicious God to those that don't understand. And he creates this God, and this God that he creates saves him. And this is how he becomes the prophet of the worm, this godlike being that he creates, because the worm doesn't exist if he doesn't exist, but he also doesn't exist if the worm doesn't exist. So it's like this feedback loop. So after doing this, he eventually escapes, but he gives up his whole humanity and becomes this demonic entity, this like demon priest. The thing is, he doesn't like control what this god does. It's still its own entity, still in its own existence. So it tells him to basically go out and learn. You know, always be open to learn and explore everyone else's things. Do not be stuck in your own ways. Do not be stagnant. So he goes out into this world, and he holds no ill will to anything. He just wants to learn and see things, and he despises people that are stuck in their ways and hateful or spiteful just for some excuse or just cop out, right? He goes out and he just learns, right? For hundreds and hundreds of years he just explores and learns, and he never puts too much into history. He never shows himself too much and makes himself a player in history. But everyone that he meets, he learns something from them. He gathers some. He implores some of his wisdom onto them, and he just goes out and lives. The reason how they meet him is during like the little portion when they're like learning, or like Apollina's getting these applications, which I can explain that in a minute. Sorry, I'm going down a lore hole. Like I said, when I talk about lore chat, I get into lore. I talk a lot about it. I mean, this is the writing stream, so. But basically, when when Apollina is putting out like the flyers for people to come join her company, the prophet is basically at a bar, like just preaching to people. And everyone's like, shut the fuck up, go away. And he's like, just still talking to people, being like, hey, you know, believe in other things that exist, you know, whatever, you know, be kind to each other. And he's like a very nonchalant, like kind of creepy guy. But eventually he gets kicked out of there and he sees the flyer and joins. And he's just the dude there. He just exists. But the whole first part of Gilded Path, one of the story points is that he's trying to... He has never had a family up to this point, right? Because he's been alive at this point, like, 900 years. And he has never had people he stayed around and been with. Right? And the whole first part of it is him coming to terms with, like, understanding truly what his god meant by, you know, never be stagnant. Like, you know, of course that means don't stand still, but also it didn't mean exile yourself from people, you know. And he gets over this as a whole. His whole growth is like eventually showing everybody he isn't human, because everyone assumes he's human at the start, and there's some like points when he does some creepy shit. But eventually he shows that he's not human to them, and actually is willing to tell them, like, you know, hey, you know, this is who I am, and this is what I am. And they accept him because he is generally a good person. They see past this, the thing that he is, and that the whole point of his religion is that you learn and you see past what people are on the surface. Despite the fact he is a horror. 10 out of 10 yapping. Yeah, I get really deep into the slower stuff. Like when I was talking to one of my people, he was he's basically our game designer, and he was helping me, like, you know, go through all the stuff. And he told me, he sat down and he said, I want to hear it. I'm like, hear what? The lore. We sat down for 8.5 hours, and I told him all the lore. 8.5 hours straight in a Discord call. So I can keep going. I can go. I love talking about it. And of course, I have 47 realities. I have a lot of things to talk about. My process for writing, though, I'm just drinking my drink now. I'm taking a little break. My process for writing, though, is basically I think of a character, then I think of something cool, then I go backwards from that, right? And I build a world from a concept or idea, and I build it back from it. There's some other rules to it that are in the stories and everything. For like my spin down multiverse, there are certain rules for it, but mostly it's like, you know, I'll think of a character and I'll be like, this is Gribble. Gribble, and at this point in this battle, Gribble is basically pulls out the sword of the Grimlocks. He tears them through, and it's like really cool. And then I just build back from that. Like I just build backwards from that. And then after I do that, I go back through and rebuild it again, make it better, make it sound better, make it flow better, and work from there. The sword of the Grimlocks. It's here. But I love talking about it. One of the other things in this reality in Gilded Path is that it's a story about a family. All these characters come together and just becoming a family and all their own issues. Like one of the characters, Vermilion. So basically, Vermilion is a being that is a they, who comes out of the Feywilds one day. They don't know how long they were in there. They don't even know who they are, really. They just choose the name Vermilion because that's the color of the forest, you know? And they are, for all intents and purposes, like completely androgynous. Like, if they were unclothed, there is nothing there. Like, there is nothing. They are flat everywhere. And they are cursed by the Fae with a curse called the Ruinous Twilight, where every aspect of their being has been torn away from them. Their memories, their physical attributes, everything is gone. And whatever perception people have, and what becomes the full perception, will become them. That's how the Ruinous Twilight works. So, like, when they show up here, basically, they basically just kind of do the basic things of, like, I'm gonna make a camp, and I exist. And eventually, when they're just existing and, like, bathing in the river, just like standing underneath the waterfall, a corpse comes over the river, and there's money in there. And they look at it, and they know what currency is. So they take it, and then they go to the nearest village, and they try to buy a painting because they think it would look nice. The painting is too much. So they get told, you know, you need to, like, get more money. And they're like, how do I get more money? And the marketing guy is like, you need to get a job. And Vermilion's like, well, how do I get a job? And at that point, they Vermilion gets thrown out of the little shopkeep area, and that's when they see Apollina's poster. You know, we'll pay you whatever. You know, come join the company, and that's how they join. Now Caldessa is another one of the group who is basically a demon general from the Southern Kingdoms, where during the war she was a very high-ranking official. Almost all of like the high-ranking officials from the demon side, the Southern Kingdoms, has been branded a war criminal and is scheduled for incarceration and execution. Now, Caldessa isn't on the run from that. During one of the final battles, the Battle of Olfina Pass, which was the bloodiest, most goriest battle possible, she lost her taste for war. So when she was in this battle, she just witnessed rivers upon rivers of blood and death and destruction. She couldn't stomach it anymore. She couldn't handle seeing friends and foes and all this blood and like an entire canyon just running red with blood. She couldn't handle it. So she renounces violence reluctantly at that point and goes into hiding. But hiding is hard for demons, especially someone like her, because she has these huge horns. So what she does is she actually rips her horns off every couple days when they grow back. She painfully rips her horns out of her head. But she bundles herself up completely in like full robes and bandages to make sure no one can see her. And she basically joins this expedition to just get away and try and take it the longest path possible away from the Southern Kingdoms. And just leave. Welcome to the stream, other person who joined. Tetherino is finally doing what I'm telling it to do and telling me when people join. Welcome. Caldessa's character arc is basically for her to like get over being too passive. Like, you know, understanding that it's okay to use violence and use this, what you can do to protect your friends and protect those around you, right? Because there's a scene where basically these bandits jump them, and Caldessa could just cleave them all in twain, but she accidentally nicks one of them, and they start bleeding really bad, and she just starts throwing up because she can't handle it. She can't handle that. It's just such a revulsion to her that her body is just like rejecting seeing it. The second to final person who joins this group, her name's Eula. Eula is an elf, and basically her mother was one of the heroes' party members, and she was the wielder of the moon bow, the moan of the bone, the bow of the moon. I can't speak English for some reason. The bow of the moon, and it was just like the iconic weapon for her and the iconic weapon of her family. And Eula is a prodigy. She can use every weapon like flawlessly. He outscores everybody in like swords, shields, hammers, firearms, everything. But she can't use a bow for the life of her. And this is such a massive hit to her like ego that she eventually feels like she is a waste of space to her family and runs away. And she is joining this expedition, this what everyone deems a suicide mission, out onto the Gilded Path, because she just wants to like get away from that, because she feels like she's a disgrace to the legacy of her family. So she's just running from everything. Now, the most important person who starts all of this is Apollina, who is the main lady. Now she's a young girl, and she was born into the slavery of the Southern Kingdoms, where basically POWs and everything, all these humans and everything that were captured were just sent and worked these camps and were prisoners. It was terrible conditions, and she was born into this. She has known nothing else besides incarceration. And while she was there, some very terrible things happened to her. Lots of stuff, terrible stuff, happened to her. But eventually, when the war ends and the Northern Kingdom's people show up, they come through and they free all of the slaves, all of the people who were taken by the Southern Kingdoms. And again, Abilene has never known freedom. So what the Northern Kingdoms do for everybody is they give them 5 gold pieces to start a new life. And when she is given these 5 gold pieces, she has this big smile, and something ignites in her, where it's like she has something, she wants to keep things. So she wants to go out and explore and basically get things. She wants to explore these ruins and get cool stuff and have items for herself, to have property. So she eventually goes out and explores this ruin by herself, and she gets these weapons, the dual blades of Dakomar, which she doesn't know what they are. They're basically like these scissors that she can pull apart. But she doesn't know what they are until Meeks tells her about them later, blah, blah, blah. But basically, after about 2 years, she reads about the Gilded Path, and she wants to travel this path, but she can't do it alone. So she goes to the Merchants Guild to try and get them to basically fund an expedition. She wants to join them, and they laugh at her. They call her like a stupid little girl, because she doesn't understand how dangerous the path is, and no self-respecting company would go down the path. So she gets laughed off. So she's like, fine, I'm just gonna get someone else to do it, some other people to do it. I don't need you. And they laugh at her again. And she basically opens up this free call to anybody who wants to join the Midas Palm Company, is what she calls her group. And that's how everyone gets there. That's how everyone joins that little group. Let's finish this one up. Passive. Prophet of a malevolent god. Are afflicted with I am a yapper when it comes to lore. Ability 1. Oh, cold and okay. ability 1. What's his first ability? Never. Come on. Boom, 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 boom. Eyes on him. Prophet becomes ethereal. There we go. Upon arrival, they ability 3. We'll call this one. Sermon of Demise? No. Prophet. The tendril. Okay. Direction of his choice. Hitting an enemy will reset this attack. Then recast up to twice. Ultimate. Unholy. Or cloister. Or what's a good religious tone here? Cathedral, cloister. Cloister's good. Cloister sounds impactful for an ultimate ability. Cloister of the Damned? No. Because they're not damned. It's not redeemed either. It's kind of just like people. Cathedral. Good. Activation. On activation. All in all. Is in a. Yeah. Enclosed into.
So it don't end like before. Ironic, look to blind prophets. I need a push to go on. Can't stop it. I should stay cautious, but I can't do this
Blown.
alone. Breaking away is a pain I've been holding on, and I'm not alone.
There you go.
Take me away from the place that I call the
Nice suit. All right.
thinking out of tone. You preach incineration with no consideration. You see no bit of pain in. You pale in imitation. Look on your sick creation.
All right, chat. I finished what I needed to do. I will catch you guys on the flip side. I'm going to go take a break for a bit. I got more stuff to do tonight, but thank you all for watching. I'm glad you guys all showed up. I hope you all have a good night. I'll probably be back tomorrow with something else. Juice.